I just woke up. And the dream I had was a crazy one. Really crazy. So, the dream I had is basically showing me what it'd be like if I went with my first idea here on YouTube, which was I was going to use YouTube for like a photo album for memories, Instead of making YouTube videos, I'd be uploading pictures and like video memories basically. Well, as you all seen, it never happened like that. I tried at times to make it like that, but that just won't work out like that. But my dream, it did work out. It worked out too good because, like, I was doing this from the age of one, not age of one, I don't know. Like, I was doing this as young as, I can imagine because there's videos of my family all throughout life. Like, all the crazy things we did, it was all on YouTube for you all to see. And because of that, everyone in the family was famous, YouTube famous. And I'm talking to everyone, like aunts, uncles, cousins, heck, even my sister. And my parents too, I think. Yeah, everyone. So, luckily, I'm not sure why this was, but I was the second best of them in the YouTuber game, If there's a rank list, I'd be in number 2. Number 1 was understandable. It was my wild cousin, and like all the wild things that he done growing up, of course, they were the biggest hit videos. And like even in the dream, there'd be times when they pull up like a tornado testing. That tornado siren sounds like it's on a plane or car or something. It's farther and closer. It's weird. I'm for sure the old tornado siren was in the. I knew what field it was in actually. Not anymore, but I did see it one time. I was like, oh, that's where it is. I was like, it's so far from the house, but it sounds like it's like right next to the house. Maybe they got more everywhere. I don't know. I don't think so. Anyways, back to the dream. So everyone's famous, right? And like it's weird. It's like parts where most of the time I have problems in the dream, like let's say money wise or um, even like strangers wanting to pick fights. This in this dream it didn't happen because well I was YouTube famous and everyone knew that in the dream. Now, oh my god, the dream took a turn for the worst, like out of nowhere. So me and my cousins were playing in the store, and for some reason my whole family went shopping together. I guess that's because like if we go alone, we'd probably get rushed by fans or something, and we could never get the shopping done. So if we went in a group, half of us could entertain the fans, the other half could go shopping. That's what we were basically doing. And somehow I was that other half that had to go shopping. Well, I got bored and started playing with the cart. Now, one of my cousins had this baby. This baby was sick, like terminally ill. It was sick. I'm not sure what was wrong with it. All I know, it looked sick, and they said it was sick. Now you would think, all right, you got a sick baby. I'm pretty sure none of you would bet this, but where do you think they put the sick baby at the store? In the shopping cart? Did they leave it in the car? No. They left it on the floor. I had no clue they put it on the floor. So when I got bored of shopping and when I was messing around with my cousins or something, I think we were fighting or something. I ended up like pushing the shopping cart, the one that they were using. It was like halfway filled. I push it as hard as I can, and I'm like, "Look, we don't have to care about these products. We can sit here and break stuff, and we still have enough money to not care. We'll just pay for it after we break it." And then so I did that, and they're all looking shocked. I'm like, "Why are they looking so shocked? Like this ain't the first time we broke some items while we were shopping." And as soon as the shopping cart hit the alley wall, everyone gasped. And I'm looking at them like, what? It hit some giant soda cans. What's wrong with that? You know? And then they go to the floor under where the cart hit. Someone laid the baby there. And I looked for a second, and all I seen was blood. Like I seen a baby laying face down and blood coming from the head area. I was like, oh, heck no. I, I turn around, and I leave the alley, and it's funny because I see my mom, the last person not last person I seen, but I see my mom, and she's like, "Oh my God, what did you just do?" And she's like turning around so she didn't have to see the scene. Me, I turn around and I start taking off like I'm planning my getaway already. Like I do not know how to explain this one, and I guess in my dream we had the same system that we do today. If you screw up like that, well, it's on you, even if it's an accident like that. So, so I walk back into the back of the store, and I go over to the next aisle, and I start to like speed walk. The speed walk turns to running, and then next thing I know, so in this dream, there's actually a lot that happened. Like there's a whole beginning part, but I left it out because it was kind of boring. It was just like us in a house trying to fix a house while like it was like a tornado storm or some kind of tornado rainstorm happening, and meanwhile the house was falling apart. And the way we were fixing it was duct tape. Like we were going around, the roof was about to come off, and we just taped it down, right? And so this is what we're doing at first. Even like at the first half of the dream, I had no idea that everyone was YouTube famous. Now, so so back to where I left off. I'm running down the aisle, heading out the front door, and thankfully no one's trying to stop me. I pass one of my friends up, and at the beginning of the dream also, like we would challenge each other saying like who's better, and as I'm running out he says, "I guess I'm the better one, huh?" And I didn't say nothing to that because like, you're right. After a mistake like that, anyone's better than me. And so I end up stealing a car, going on a crazy drive, and finally I get to his house. When I get to his house, it's basically I went to the top YouTubers of my family's house, and when I was there, um, the first thing I do is I pull up YouTube. I start to watch a YouTube video. I'm like, I guess I was like curious and thinking, what kind of YouTube videos do they make? I looked up, of course, sure enough, it was just them doing, like I said, it was like memories, like things that happened in the past with my family were all on YouTube. And it was very entertaining. It was entertaining down to the last bit. And the thing is they weren't bits. They were real life situations, And I'm watching, I'm like, oh, those were good times, good times. And as I'm thinking that and saying that, I go out to the backyard, and for some reason I see this red piece of tape, and I should have known that, I should have known that this tape was holding up the roof, but for some reason I did, and I pulled at it, and as soon as I pulled at it, the whole like it was like a roof to a back porch, kind of over a second story room too, and that it just collapsed. Not really collapsed, but like caved in pretty badly. And after that, my biggest cousin came outside, and he was walking toward me. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. I'm like, of course they're gonna send the biggest guy at me. After what I did, I don't blame them. And at that point, I was like, you know, I think I ran enough. I'll just face my punishment. And so I stood there. I'm getting ready for him to pummel me, right? And what ends up happening is that he pulls out his phone and shows me the video that I was just watching when I got to the house. He's like, you remember this time with my little brother? Yeah, these were good times. Back when we weren't YouTube famous. And just walks off. So I walk back inside. And I realize everyone's there that was at the store. And they don't seem to be so upset anymore. I don't know if like that whole store incident never happened, never actually happened, or like they're okay with it. I don't know. I don't know if the baby was okay afterwards. I think the baby was okay because I think I ended up seeing it later on in the dream too. I was thankful for that. Like, thank God I didn't kill a baby. And but yeah, that was such a wacky dream. I woke up thinking, man, I don't know if that was a warning or what, you know, because that's honestly, if I try to do it my way, if I try to make it go the way that I had envisioned, it'd probably end up like that. Especially if I had a younger start at it, you know, before I started like I don't know 12 years ago. We'll say like instead starting 15 or 18 years ago. If I did that, then everything would have been changed. I'd seen my family in the snobbiest way, basically. And I didn't like that. It made me wake up thinking, I'm glad I went on this as a solo, you know, solo show. What you call that? One man show? Because hanging out with wild people that are rich, stupid mistakes happen like that. I'm pretty sure they would. I don't know. I'm pretty sure no one would be dumb enough to leave a baby on the floor. You know, as if that's where they're supposed to leave it, especially in the store. But, I don't know. Because it was like a universe, you know. It was like a what if universe that I was in. And I did not like it. I liked the idea of it. I just didn't like how the people changed. Like they were. It's weird because there's all my family members in this dream, right? I couldn't tell you. Like, they weren't acting like they usually acted. They acted snobby and rich-like. So, I never seen them like that before. It was weird. Like they weren't the same people. The money actually did change them. And since it changed them all, of course, now I know, I tell you all, the money's never going to change me. I'm never going to be a sellout, this and that. That's true. But if I'm put in a situation where it's like all my family decides to become a sellout, and if I'm the last one that hasn't become a sellout, I'm selling out. Just because it's like peer pressure kind of deal. Luckily, we don't have to worry about that. Because, well, it's a one-man show. But dang, it's crazy. It's like, you know, things, like if I started recording sooner, things would have been a lot easier, like it'd been a lot easier to become famous, but at the same time, it would have got everyone too easy famous. And I think that would have, you know, kind of took away so many life lessons that it ruined their, what you call it, not reputation, but the way they act, you know. But anyways, that's how the dream ends.